Kyle Larson absolutely dominated tonight at the All-Star race. The man won $1 million. That last lap for the $1 million was absolutely insane. And we have people winning stages that we didn't think was actually going to win. What's up, y'all? We're Sundays for NASCAR. My name's Joa Barron.
I'm Nick Rhodes.
And we're going over the All-Star race.
Yeah, it was a hell of a race.
That was a hell of a race, man. Very intense, very intriguing. It kept me hooked the entire race.
Yeah.
There was a lot of clean racing, though. It wasn't anything as messy as what we saw in the All-Star Open.
Yeah. Clearly the guys that belonged in the All-Star race knew exactly what they were doing. All the guys in the Open at the very beginning, it was like, it's like they were trying to like knock the rust off and everything. But these guys, there was barely any cautions. There was barely anything really going on. But at the same time, there was some still very good racing.
Sure, there was. I want to say I was questioning bringing the All-Star race to Texas.
Me too.
And I loved it. I enjoyed the race a lot. Drop down in the comments. Did you guys like the race at Texas? It was very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
I believe that maybe NASCAR moving to different tracks for the All-Star race is a good, solid move for the sport.
I agree with that. I think jumping around to different tracks is a good way to be able to see different kind of racing during the All-Star race, because it's not for points. It's all for the money. So you do get kind of that aggression out of the drivers, and you get a little kind of a different style of racing other than just racing for points. You kind of want to save your stuff. And
Exactly.
At the very beginning, Christopher Bell, he lost it, just got a little bit loose and everything, but he had a hell of a save. Didn't hit anything or whatever. He was able to come down pit road and get 4 fresh ones before anybody else.
He was completely sideways and saved it Kyle Busch style.
That's right.
Because the only person in the sport that could save a car like that is Kyle Busch. I didn't think Christopher Bell had it in him. Kudos to you, my guy. Proud of you. Bravo.
Yes, sir. Blaney ended up winning one of those rounds,
yeah,
I suppose. But this was the one that I believe it was round 2. Because after round 2, they completely inverted the field, so he went from first to last.
And I think that, well, a lot of people are going to be upset about this, but the diversions, it kept the whole sport, the whole race, the entire night on your toes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could prepare for it the way they finished, but you don't want to. I mean, $1 million is on the line. If I'm up front, I'm going to try to stay up front. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think everyone was trying to do that. Especially because one of the stipulations was, where you finish throughout the first 4 rounds determines where you start. Exactly. Either the 5th or 6th round. I believe it was the 5th round, but it was a little interesting, a little confusing at times.
It was. I kept asking y'all what's happening.
6 rounds, the inversions, and then the spin the wheel and the whole deal or no deal style.
Oh, man,
open up the stars and figure out which numbers there, and then that inverts 1 through 9 or 1 through 12 or whatever it ended up being. It was a little bit confusing, to say the least, but it made for great racing, and like you said, it kept you on your toes.
Blew my mind. Matty D made it into the All-Star race.
That's right.
Super proud of him.
Very happy about that.
Didn't have a finish that we would love to see, but he did lead 2 laps.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was great. It was because of the inversion.
Right, exactly.
But at the same time, it was all right because I got to see my boy up front. Our boy,
Michael McDowell, right behind, was pushing him. They raced They raced hard, and it was awesome.
2 underdogs killing it up front for just a little bit and everything, but it was exciting.
Exactly.
It's not something you're used to seeing. on a day-to-day basis throughout NASCAR.
So when that inversion happened, Kyle Larson went back to like midfield and made his positions all the way back up. Chase Elliott was right behind him.
Yeah.
We had Brad Keselowski up in the top, second. He finished second.
Yeah, he finished second. Hendrick Motorsports Group, I swear, man, they've got something figured out.
1, 2, 3, 4 again at some point in this race.
At some point, yeah, they were, and I even tweeted about it that at one point it was 1, 2, 5, 7. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, clearly they have the horsepower, clearly they have the package, clearly they have whatever it is that they're doing that makes them so dominant.
Exactly.
It's good to see because for the last few years everybody's kind of been questioning about that, not just Hendrick but the whole Chevy group in general when they switched to the Camaro.
Right.
It was very, they weren't really all there, but all of a sudden now they're clearly the best in the field.
Yeah, exactly, and it's fun to watch. It's kind of like a repeat with last year with Harvick and Hamlin. They were winning a lot. I will say I wish someone else won. Just saying, because we're having a repeat of the dominance of the wins, but it was all around an exciting race. The last lap, man, we had Chase Elliott and we had Kyle Larson right next to each other. Chase Elliott breaks in front, trying to block off Kyle Larson, completely forgets about Brad Keselowski that swoops right below.
I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, "Come on, Chase! What are you doing, man?" This is a perfect example of what happened with Kyle Busch and Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin just ends up coming right on by and everything at Auto Club a few years ago. Couldn't tell you what date it was, but same kind of thing, man. When you're so involved with a teammate, even if it is a teammate or not and everything, you're focused on this one guy because he's leading the race, but you always forget about third place, and he just snuck right around both of them.
Exactly, and you see that Chase Elliott's a professional. Even the professionals forget sometimes, and they were racing hard enough. I don't think he ever saw him, and there wasn't really anything he could do because he was getting passed by either Larson or Keselowski, and Keselowski took it in for the win. Well, didn't take it in for the win, but that battle right there.
Exactly. He led at least a lap or two and everything after that pass, and Kyle Larson, clearly the dominant car, he ended up getting around Keselowski and stealing the victory.
And unfortunately, Chase Elliott, he started slowing down and losing track position because they took off.
Yeah. I think maybe Chase Elliott probably used up a little bit too much of his stuff there at the beginning. Probably would have been better had he saved a little bit, but at the same time, when you're racing for $1 million, it's go time every lap.
You forget about all those. I mean, if I'm racing for $1 million, I'm giving it my all. Days of
110%.
Thunder style.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think altogether, awesome coverage that NASCAR did. I think that the All-Star race went extremely well.
Yeah.
I do want to say, you made a comment too, how awesome it was that they had a concert out in the stands with the fans while they were doing their warm-up lap. Right at first lap, green flag, the song ended.
That was very cool. Something that I don't think we've ever seen in NASCAR before. I mean, they were in the stands with the fans.
Yeah, they were.
It was extremely cool to see. And as soon as that song ended, fucking green flag right there, man. Like they were off and at it. And this was a good race and everything. The All-Star race, I do think needs to jump around and everything. I was surprised about Texas Motor Speedway putting on the performance that it did today. PJ1, again, not really too big of a fan of it, but at the same time, it seemed to be coming in and activating for these Cup drivers. Not so much with the truck and Xfinity, but clearly it came in today because everybody was using it and it seemed to be working.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
The race itself was actually really good. It's just, I mean, again, it's only 100 laps and they get broken up so quickly throughout with the rounds or the stages, whatever you want to call them.
It keeps it interesting.
There being 6 rounds and everything. Again, coming into this, I had no idea what to expect because I didn't really understand the format to begin with.
Right.
And I continue to read about it and that Fox did a great job of explaining it.
Right.
So that was it worked out and everything. But do you think it's going to be somewhere else
Yes,
next year?
I do. I think that they're getting a lot of positive feedback on changing the track. I think that, yeah, it will be somewhere else. And who knows? It could be at a super speedway the way that they're doing stuff.
It could be.
It would be awesome. And, we just got a super speedway added to schedule, Nashville. And I know, what if they went on strong? It's like, oh, we just brought this brand new track the very next year. The All-Star Race is coming. Great publicity for the track. I would love to see it.
Nashville's next weekend too, by the way. So
look
forward to our content coming up here this next week on Nasville Superspeedway.
Yes, it's going to be badass. Well, I think that covers up the All-Star Race. Larson dominates again, and I expect for him to do it again next week at Nashville.
That's why I took him from you today.
Yeah, true. You did.
Asking me who was going to win. That's why I took your boy, because Kyle
My boy
Larson
Blue
seems to be dominating every mile and a half. And, well, not even just a mile and a half. He dominates everywhere, so that's why I took him from you this week.
Yeah, I see. If you guys aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Get notified every time that we upload videos, which is weekly and sometimes in between. And if you're not already on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, Sundays for NASCAR, and on Twitter, Sundays for NASCAR. Matt Benedetto.
You want to try that one again?
Clint Boyer is rubbing off on me. We'll throw that tweet up.
Yeah.